This is an advanced instructional video on h5p. It is recommended that you view the first video in this series on hotspot images before viewing this one. This video will cover the basics of creating an interactive video in h5p. With this tool, you can create interactive pop-ups in any video in your course. To get started, go to your account and hit the Create New Content button. Scroll through the options list until you find Interactive Video. As always, give your video a title. It can be the same title as it has on YouTube or from your files. Then click the plus button to add your video. You can either paste a link to a video on YouTube or another hosting site, or you can upload a video of your own. As always, the upload limit is 16 megabytes. If you choose to upload, you can also add differing quality versions of the video to accommodate those with weaker internet connections. YouTube videos will automatically convert the definition. Also important for uploaded videos are the options below. You will have to title the video again, but will have the option to add a written description, a thumbnail image for the video, as well as upload any subtitles you may have. Videos linked from another source, like YouTube, will automatically pull this information if the host has provided it. Next, it's time to start adding interactions. The next window will show a video preview as well as a toolbar above it. h5p allows for 17 different interaction types to place in your video. The first 5 and the 15th are the ones you will probably use most often. They are label, text, table, link, image, and navigation hotspot. Very similar to the hotspot image we worked on in part 1. For example, let's create a text interaction to let the viewer know that this is an interactive video right now. When you click on any interaction tool, your first option is to set how far along in the video you want this interaction to appear and for how long you want it to stay on the screen. The start time will default to your current place in the video, and the duration will default to 10 seconds. I'm going to leave the start time the same, but I only want this to show up for 8 seconds, so I'm going to set the end time to this. You can also check if you want this interaction to pause the video, so the viewer will have to press play again once they've read the message. Below that, you can set this to appear as either a button that will expand the text once clicked, or as a poster which just shows the message instantly. Finally, it's time to type the message in the box. You can set the background color and some other visual preferences, as well as if you want the text box itself to become a clickable link to another part in the video or an external source. For now, let's just keep things simple and click Done. Now you can adjust the size and placement of the text box in the preview window. You can also double-click the text box to re-edit it. The next 9 and last 2 interactions are all question-based interactions for creating quizzes in the video. It's very important to note that currently there is no way to have students' answers on these questions report back to the LMS gradebook, so you're advised to use these sparingly. Only use them as unweighted questions to reinforce points made in the video. For example, let's create a true or false question to reinforce a point made right now. The first few settings are the same as before, but continue to scroll down and you will see the question settings. Type in the question, then check whether the correct answer is true or false. Next, you will see 2 option menus, behavioral settings and adaptivity, which when opened can be frankly overwhelming. Behavioral settings will let you change some various options for the question, but in most cases you won't really need to change much here. In adaptivity, however, you can set what happens when the viewer answers correctly or incorrectly. So let's set it so the viewer will be directed back a bit in the video if they get the question wrong. We can go to Action on Wrong and put the time in the video we want to send the viewer back to. We can also write a short feedback message. Once that's complete, click Done and place the question box in the video. You may need to resize it if it's too big. In the end, it should look something like this. And that's basically how building interaction works. Each interaction has its own quirks and differences, so be sure to experiment with all of them. Once complete, click Step 3 to go to the Summary task. The final step is to create a summary task of the interactive video. This is one or a set of final questions that will appear at the end of the video. Again, since this doesn't report back to the LMS, it's advised to just make one brief summary question to reinforce the concept of the video. You can also skip this entirely, and as long as you have no statements written, it will not show up at the end of the video. We can title the task Summary and keep the default introduction text. Write out one true statement in Summary and one false. You can add more statements, a tip for the question, or more summary questions below if you'd like. Then you can select the feedback given based on the score range the viewer gets on the activity. Below that, there are some optional settings for the behavior of the video, as well as any text overrides. The only thing you might want to change here is the start time of the video if you want them to only watch a portion of the YouTube video, for example. Once you're done with those final settings and the h5p options, click Save. As before, you can preview the video in the next window, then copy the embed code and paste it in your activity.